So I don't know about you guys, but I've always wondered what these VIP SEO masterminds are like. And so last week I was in Vietnam and I actually got invited to one of these masterminds run by Kasra Dash. I'm sure you guys know who he is, very well known in the SEO space. Here's a picture of him if you don't know who he is. He's also got a YouTube channel that I highly recommend you guys check out. Now he set up this VIP SEO Mastermind with a lot of the big names going. So people like Fery, Julian Goldie, Jackie Chow, Kyle Roof, all these people. And he invited me to come along to experience it. Now, let's talk about what these events are like and why you should or shouldn't be attending these. And at the end, I also have a few mini interviews with some of the big names and their main takeaways from this VIP event. So if you've never attended one of these before, basically what happens is you go somewhere all day and you're put into these groups. So as you guys can see here, we were in a group of 6 to 7 people. And because it's an SEO mastermind, obviously all the people there, they are in SEO, they do SEO. So in this group, there are people that did a variety of different things. So there's a few people that sold links. One person specifically owned a link marketplace called Link House out of Poland. Kasra obviously sells links. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There are a couple of big agency owners and also SaaS owners, which was super interesting. And so in this day, you basically go around in a circle in this group and you each have 30 minutes individually to talk about one specific problem that you have with your business or with your SEO or whatever you want to bring up. And within those 30 minutes, everyone in the group tries to contribute to help you solve that issue based on their personal experience with their businesses. And so what's so cool and so powerful about these type of events is that there's a lot of heavy hitters that attend. And specifically in my group, there was a guy that was doing 9 figures in revenue with a combination of his businesses. And so a variety of issues that I brought up, he had already gone through and gave me great advice on how to move forward. So I personally asked about my new project Clicks. It's a beginner-friendly SEO data tool. Link to that is in the description. And I was just asking them what's the best way of growing it, different SEO strategies, and what they thought of the tool. I was also looking for feedback from these guys. And funnily enough, there was another guy in the group that owned a very similar SaaS business, specifically targeted for site audits, but he gave me a lot of insight of why it's such a great business to run, and also why it's such a terrible business and why now might not be the best time to run one of these businesses. But regardless, I also happened to meet someone who builds backlinks specifically for SaaS businesses, which was actually incredibly insightful and perfect timing. So I will be working with this person moving forward. If you guys want the contact, just drop a comment or hit me up on Twitter and I'll send you guys his contact details. And so before you guys hear the main takeaways from some of the big players that attended, I would personally highly recommend these type of events. And I know this almost sounds like an ad, but literally guys, it's one of the few places that I've been able to go to talk openly about my business, about what I'm doing in SEO, what's working for me, what isn't. And people do the same thing. They talk about how much money they're making and how they're doing it and the different strategies that maybe you don't hear online that often. So the different link building strategies that people are doing that are working super well. So stuff like that I think is invaluable and only really happens in these type of events. And I would also recommend going to events that are run by Kasra. He's very well connected and he knows how to organize these events very well. Anyway, I'll let you guys hear what some of the big players had to say and their main takeaways from this event. Why should people come to masterminds?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like different perspectives and problems. If you're in your own little SEO bubble, you can get kind of lost in that and trapped within the constraints of your own mind. And so when you have like 8 people around the table and you can learn from them, you all have different perspectives on solving problems. All of a sudden, that problem that seems massive is actually tiny in significance. And I got the answers that I wanted pretty quickly. So I had a question, came with a specific problem, and got it sorted straight away.
Amazing.
But just kind of getting together in small groups and just kind of exposing some of your problems and being vulnerable, and then just getting real feedback from people that you have a lot of respect for was definitely very valuable. But I think I think you get what you put into it, and a lot of these guys and girls here are really doing some super advanced stuff using programmatic SEO, writing scripts, automation, there's so many different things that people are doing that are just so high level that it's awesome to kind of see and learn from.
Incredible.
For sure. Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
James, what did you think? Any
Yeah, I thought it was very,
conclusions?
very high level, to be honest with you. The people that came, a lot of it was invite only, so we brought the right people. The crowd was probably one of the strongest mastermind groups I've ever been in, to be fair. There's a lot of level of knowledge from not just SEO and value of digital marketing as a whole, but also from business as well. There's some people in there that have scaled like 350 staff, and had 350 staff for over 5 years. So you can understand the headache involved in like motivating, elevating staff, training staff, making certain that they're happy, stuff like that, and progressing the team. It was a very high level mastermind for sure.
So why do you think that this type of information only happens in person in these like 8 group tables? Why isn't
Because a lot of the stuff that if someone's on stage and you disagree with something on stage, you can't really call the person out on stage because you look stupid for calling them out, and it's disrespectful to call them out on stage. But when you're in these private mastermind groups and someone starts saying, I think that this and this is the best strategy, and then you can then start calling upon, have you tested X, Y, and Z? Some people share misinformation, but they don't know that it's misinformation because their correlation and causation is that if I did X, Y, and Z, this works. And it's like, but you've not tried A, B, and C route. So that when then you can start to dig deeper into certain things, and then you can start to call upon the experts in a certain field, you can start extracting the information of exactly what part of the strategy was working best. And I think that's the most important part of masterminds over conferences, of where you get such high level of knowledge.
Amazing. Thanks for your time.
I think it's always good to get a group of people like this together because everyone has a little nugget. Even people that are relatively new or whatever, there's always some little nugget that you can take. I particularly like the fact that we've not been niched together in this mastermind. So in our group, we had Corey, but then we had e-commerce owners, we had people doing affiliate in really tough competitive niches, we had a guy who's doing local SEO and lead gen. So they're the people that I can learn a lot from because they might have a different tactic that works really well for them that I can take away. For me, yeah, it's lived up to all expectations. It really has. I've enjoyed it a lot.
Definitely, like
Some high-level players.
You can imagine how it is, but when you have everyone in the same place and you actually do it and you have the discussions, you just realize how giving the SEO community is, how willing everyone is to share the knowledge. They just want to help.
Personal, I think the biggest key takeaway was the amount of, or the revenue that people are basically doing in the SEO space, and how they're achieving it. Like, some of the guys have armies of staff, right? I thought I had armies of staff. These guys have an entire, a way bigger army. So I think that was really big. I think that how they're scaling, like the hiring process, how they're training the staff, how they're essentially like working in a unit really to move forward and push brands to like 10, 15, 20, 400 million. I think that was the biggest key takeaway that I got from it, and essentially like the inner workings of something like that. Because sometimes you'll look at like your setup and you're like, well, everything's going efficiently. No, it's not. Especially when you start talking to some of these big dogs, you very quickly realise that you're messing up on 10 different things and how you can optimise your setup way better. So yeah, that was my biggest key takeaway from the mastermind.
All right. Thanks for your time, dude, and thanks for organizing this amazing event. Appreciate it.
No worries. Are you coming to the next one?
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Right.